The distinction is here, though, it's be very challenging, very difficult for you to take a prospective customer to see a previous customer unless you've done your work to maintain that relationship with the previous customer.
Exactly. I mean, that's where it all starts. Obviously, if we didn't take care of that customer 6 months ago or 2 years ago, I would not be getting a glowing recommendation from them.
Right.
So it's all about us doing what's right, and then the benefits just flow back to us.
Right.
It's the old saying, you get what you give.
Right.
And if you do a good job for somebody, it'll come back and repay you,
Right.
time and time again.
The issue of for lack of a better term, legacy. In other words, how do we see? You and I, we've been in the business a long time, right? We're old school. We've been in the business a long time, right? But there are young folks out there. We started out as young folks. When there are young folks out there and they're coming into the business, and they're seeing the market in a different way, a different perspective than we did 25, 30 years ago. What do you want to tell young folks about being in this business in the first place, and what's going to help them be successful? Any thoughts on that?
Sure. Actually, I think for the young salespeople, let's say, any facet of the home building, probably real estate business, this is a great time for them to come in.
Wow,
because
really?
This is a tough market, and they're going to learn how to work hard, and they're going to learn how to work smart, and they're going to learn that you have to work, and that it's not easy. A bad time for someone to come in was 4, 5, 6 years ago when the market was so hot. I mean, let's face it, it was simple to sell houses.
Right.
People were waiting in line.
Right.
And it was a lot of fun. I'm not complaining. It was a fun time to be
You didn't
there.
really have to learn how to sell houses. All you had to do is learn how to fill out paperwork.
Exactly.
If the truth be told here.
And the people that came into the market in those circumstances never learned good habits. And once the market turned south, they bailed and they run. Because they don't understand it. I've been through downturns. After you do this a while, you just get some gut instincts.
Right.
And not that we didn't make some money on the deal while it was happening, but that's that type of market that we were in 2004, 2005 could not be sustained.
Yeah.
And it wasn't realistic.
I think that speaks so much. I mean, your observation there is keen. It speaks so much that when sales are hot or when sales are not, it's the fundamentals. It's the fundamentals that we have to stick to. And, it's a fact of nature, I guess, or human nature. We get lazy, when we get,
Sure, it can happen.
We get a little fat, we get a little lazy,
right?
right? But, the fundamentals, building rapport, customer contact, follow up, asking the right questions,
Exactly.
just genuinely caring about people,
Exactly.
you think?
Working with people, working them all the way through, going the extra mile, like you say, follow up. We've got to remember that, this is the biggest investment these people make. And at any given time, we might have 12, 20 transactions going. That's just another house, sometimes. But we have to not take that mentality and remember that it is the biggest thing in their life at this point in time. I mean, there's nothing more important to people when they're building a house than that house.
That's right. They have to feel like they're the only ones.
Exactly. And we got to
going
remember
through
it.
that.
Sometimes they ask you the same question 3 or 4 times. They worry about things that are no big deal, but you cannot take it lightly because it's their baby.
Right.
Right. And so you have to sometimes remind yourself of those basic, little parts of our industry.
As a new home sales counselor, I realize that you have the marketing support of your company. Do you personally do any marketing on your own to attract customers or to attract prospective buyers? If so, what do you do?
Yes, and mostly my personal marketing is geared towards realtors.
Okay.
In San Antonio, there's 6,000 realtors.
I think that's about the right number, yeah.
Around that. If I can stay in touch with a bulk of them, particularly the 500 or so that are doing a lot of business in this part of town where we sell, where we build homes, that's where my best marketing time and expense can go.
So overall, now we have a lot of realtors, by the way, that look at our blog and look at these interviews, okay? A lot of new home sales counselors, a lot of sales managers, and a lot of realtors, okay? Because I get a lot of feedback from realtors. All right, now, having said that, what's your best strategy for marketing to a realtor?
You just have to constantly stay in front of them. They have a lot of people marketing to them, you know, and in
Right.
front of them all the time, and it's easy for them to forget sometimes. You would think, well, I just talked to them 6 months ago. How could they forget where I'm at?
6 months
Well,
is a long time in the realtor
exactly.
world. Yeah.
Exactly, and there's
Yeah.
constantly new builders and builders that aren't there anymore. There's, you know, things changing. There's new programs. There's new financing. There's a lot of demands on their time, and so it's just an ongoing, you know, follow-up marketing program to try to
FaceTime.
exactly.
Yeah. Well, listen, I appreciate your insights. Thank you so
Sure.
much for coming
Nice to
in
meet
today.
you.
Thank you, people, for coming in and take a listen to our interview today. Thank Patrick. And all I can say is that get out there, work with the realtors, work with your existing customers, continue to do your follow-up, be persistent, and as you can see, good things happen to you. Thanks for coming into the Housing Industry Insider blog, and until our paths cross again, take great care.